Hi everybody, in this video we're going to talk about the canvas. So let's get started. Before we do get started, I just want to thank all the subscribers, all the comments that I have received so far. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel, it helps get known. So thank you, and let's just jump right into this. So the canvas renderer, what I had to do, I don't know if you guys noticed already, is that my Unity is a little different. There's this preview packages in use here. The reason it's shown is because I installed the preview package. The preview package I installed, if you go to the package manager, is the device simulator. If you guys want to know more about that, let me know. I will make a video sooner or later, but if you guys want me to make one sooner, let me know. But what this does is, if you go right here where it says game, you could choose simulator. And as you can see, now we have an iPad, and we could go down to this drop down menu, and we have different phones like the Samsung, and as you can see it's portrait mode right now, but I could switch it to rotate automatically, or I could just rotate it right here, as you can see. And if I click safe zone area, you can see where the safe area is, where our game will be able to fit into. The reason I'm showing you this is that it's very useful, and the reason it is very useful, it will keep. Actually, let me slow down. First, let me talk about the canvas. So the canvas, it has this render mode, so we could have screen space overlay. Screen space overlay, as you could see, it overlays our world space, or our screen space where we're playing. So that's screen space overlay, and we could have it a pixel perfect. We could change the sorting order. So if we want this canvas to be displayed in front of others, we could change that. We could also change the target display. So if you want it to be displayed on 2, 3, 4, and for those who don't know, the displays are right here. So see, there's no camera displaying on display 3, but if I had a camera and I have display 3, as you can see, so I could have multiple cameras showing different images. But anyways, let me go back. So if we go back to the scene, go to canvas, there's screen space, and then there's additional shader channels. I looked for what these are. I couldn't find anything on them. I'll keep looking. If you guys know, leave a comment below. It will help me out and anybody else wondering what this is. So after render mode, screen space overlay, we got screen space camera. So if we click that, we get this render camera option. All you do is whatever camera you want this canvas to render. So I want the main camera to render this canvas. And as you can see, the canvas snapped into it. If you didn't see it, let me undo it. You see the canvas is on top, our camera is down here, and if I click it or redo it, or if I drag this main camera onto there, it will snap into place. Now I just want to mention real quick that if, let's say, I have an object, say a sprite, let's say I have this, let's put this gun since I have it here. This gun is from an asset pack. The asset pack is from Unity, and it is called, let me see what it's called. I'll leave a link in the description below, but it is, I think, the 2D free platformer character. Yeah, right here, the 2D free platform character by Jurgen Alexen. I'll leave a link below. But anyways, let's put this sprite into the canvas. And actually, let's remove this. We're going to make it into an image so the canvas can see it. And make it into a gun. I'm going to set the position to 1, scale to 1, 1, and 1. Alright. So now we can see it in the game view. It's just a regular gun. Now if I go to canvas, I just want you guys to see that even though this gun image, even though it's a sprite, let me put image, even though this image is on the canvas renderer, no matter whether it's on the overlay or on the camera, it don't really matter. If it's on world space, it kind of does matter, relevant to the camera, to the world space. But on screen space camera, we could keep it like that. We could change the plane distance, so if we want to be able to see it, we could actually adjust it right here, change the plane distance. This is a little better for 3D games. There's also sorting layer. Sorting layer, you could choose what layer you want this canvas to be. So if you wanted to be behind a background, on top of a background, um, top of a different sorting layer, and again the additional shorting shader channel. I'm not sure what that is, so please leave a link if you guys do. And then there's world space. World space, this is good. Let's say if you have a health bar on multiple enemies or something like that, you could have a canvas on each enemy, and you could have an event camera, and then you could also have the sorting layer as well. Now if we go back to screen space camera or overlay, it don't really matter. I'm gonna choose camera. We could see this canvas scaler. This is what I was kind of mentioning earlier, that I was getting ahead of myself, is this UI scaler mode. There's constant pixel size. So if we go to simulator, and we could see the gun right here, it kind of looks pixelated. We could scale it, as you can see. We could scale it, and then depending on what phone it is, it might cut off. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I do that has worked for me so far. And then there's also a reference per pixels, reference pixels per units. So it just references the pixels per units. So if you have a low pixels per unit, you're going to have kind of a blurry image. If you have higher, depending on the scale factor as well. Now if you go to scale with screen size is the little trick I was telling you about. So if you're in your game and you set to, let's say you're making an Android game or even a standalone game for a computer. Well, for this example, let's use Android since we do have the device simulator. We'll put Android, and as you can see, the Android, it's 1920. Now if we go to the simulator, you can see it works fine for the galaxies, stuff like that. If I go to, let's see, let me see one that it might not work with. For example, this one, I don't even want to say it. I think it's Xiaomi Redmi Note 7. As you can see, this is cut off. Now I have my game resolution at 1920 1080. So that's what I'm going to use the reference resolution at, is 1920 to 1080. And then screen match mode, you could expand it, you could shrink it. What I usually do though when I make my mobile games is I leave it at match width or height. And as you can see, it already moves towards the center. Now let me show you again. So this is constant pixels. I think it's usually like that. Let me move it, show you once again, and a little better. So let's say we got it right there. Not right there. Right there. Okay, so we have it right there. Alright, so I found one. So if you see on the Apple iPhone, you can't see the gun. If I go back to, let's say, Google Pixel, we could see it. Go back to the iPhone. Okay, so as you can see, you can't see it. So what I usually do is, since our game screen is 1920 by 1080, as you can see it, I have scale with screen size. I leave it at 1920 by 1080, and as you can see, see the gun. So if it wasn't because of the scaling with the screen size, you wouldn't be able to see the gun. So this would work for pretty much any mobile device, as you can see. Now some devices, as you can see this little cutoff right here, what you can do is you could actually adjust you can match the width or the height, so you could actually adjust it. As you can see, the gun is now moving towards it. And if I go to what was the first one? I think it was this one right here. You could still see it. And if you go to any other one, so yeah, you pretty much just gotta adjust the match. Just remember to set your resolution, your reference resolution, to this right here. If you do not set it to, if you do not set these reference resolution to your game resolution, it will not work. So set it to that, and then you can also change the reference per pixels per unit. So depending on the what you want the reference pixels to be. And then after that, we have this graphic raycaster. This graphic raycaster, I never had to adjust anything before, but if you guys do want to know anything about this, this is pretty much just ignores the reverse graphics. So any graphics that are flipped the other way, that are not pretty much visible, they ignore it. Blocking objects, you could block 2D objects, you could block 3D objects, you could block all. Blocking mask, you could block everything, you could block nothing, just depending on what you want to block. And then that's it for the canvas render, or the canvas component. So we got a little bit more time. I'm gonna talk about the panel real quick. The panel, so when you make a panel, let me delete this image real quick. When you make a panel, it creates this little, all it creates is an image with the background as the source image, and this color, it has the alpha almost all the way, or more than halfway down. And these are pretty much good to make if you want to make a menu real quick. You just make a little panel. You can name the panel pause menu real quick, and after that, you could have your title or whatever. So you could add your text. Go back to the scene, add your text however you want. Title or game title. You could adjust the font. You can make sure you spell title with the right capitalizations. You could adjust it to white. This, of course, will be game title. Then, of course, we'll adjust it to sort of the center. And after that, you just make your UI buttons. The button, just make the button how you want. Just making this real quick so you guys could see that it's possible to make a menu real quick. And of course, you guys would put more effort into it. I'm just doing it real quick just to show you guys. So there's the play button. We'll duplicate the play button, move them down. And of course, a good habit is naming all this stuff, because it just gets confusing after a while, especially when your project gets bigger and bigger. Menu. And then yeah, that's pretty much a game title. Now the game title looks kind of ugly because of the white, so we could change it to black. We could darken it, and as you can see, it's showing up a little bit on the corners. So what we could do is go to the scene view, go on the pause menu, which would be the panel, and just stretch it out a bit on every side. This is especially good if you're doing it for devices. That way, that it's covering all devices. You can see, and there you go. That's pretty much the panel. The panel, like I said, it just had this image, and that was it. It's just an easy way to create a menu. Well, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful. Like I said, if you guys want to know more about the simulator, device simulator, let me know. I've been using it on my current project this whole time. Well, actually, half the time I've been making the project, I've been using the simulator. I've tested it on 3 phones so far, and these little drop down phone options are real, or at least pretty accurate, almost 100% accurate. I have tested mine, I don't want to bore you guys too much, but I tested it on the Moto G7 Power. That's the one I had before, or the one I have currently. I have also tested it on the Galaxy 6 and 7. Those are my previous phones. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up. The next video, I'm gonna talk about the scroll view and hopefully the event system, so I could be done with all these little options here. And thank you. Have a good day. Please like the video if you learned something. If it helped you, please share. And thank you once again.